Okay, I don't know if this is happening to anybody else, but I've been noticing a few problems with my YouTube account. And I think this, I've noticed this for, actually, it's gotten worse in most probably about the last 6 weeks, where I go to log on and my password is different. As if it's not my password. And I've just noticed it's just happened again. So I've got a funny feeling we've had another Mandela effect in this reality. Because my password got changed about 7 hours ago and I didn't change it. Either someone's frecking with my account or whatever, but everything in this reality that I've been experiencing for the last week and before that, when I started to do it, everything's exactly the same to me. The family's the same. The problems with missing kids is the same. So I'm pretty sure I'm in the same one that I was thrown into. But I'm noticing that my password just got changed. I had to, and a strange thing is, I manipulated a few of the words and I got in because it sort of, I'm thinking to myself, what if I done it this way? What if I done it that way? I'd sort of do, am I remembering it wrong? But no, the thing is, I remembered the password because I stuck it into I remembered I actually activated save the password. And it should have just gone straight into YouTube. And because I'm the only one that lives here, so I keep the password there. But the password was different. It had a different bloody password on. This is friggin' weird, folks. It's weird. So we're back to the question answer time of the day for the day. I wasn't doing it. I've already done about 200 and something comments. So now I'm going to tell you, those of you that are trolls out there, if you are out there harassing the people that actually comment on people's comments, like some of you have been, you will get barred. And I've already barred about 10 people. I don't like barring people, but if you turn around and you hassle us because we are trying to cope until the website is up, this is our only way that we can, and the only way we can communicate. You hassle these people, I will block you from this channel. So if you don't want to get blocked, don't hassle people. Don't call people nuts. Just be nice and you'll get let and stay on the channel. The moment you start calling people nuts, you're going to get blocked. And within a heartbeat. Okay, I'm sorry, folks. I wanted to throw that in. All right. Your work explaining the maps changing is awesome. Thanks. Yeah, no worries, Bill. But I don't think it's time travel, Bill, by the way, too, by the way. It's sort of, I actually now think we are in an alternate reality. Okay, he came to Canada. Wow. Okay, yeah, I don't remember him going to Canada. I have a brief memory of something that after he died, but that's what's always been strange for the last 6 weeks. As if I sort of remember it, but I don't remember it. Whether it, because I believe I've actually shifted a couple of times. I'm pretty certain that I've shifted a couple of times, and after what's just happened, I reckon I shifted again. Um, I reckon the morning sunshine is a change for me. It happened 2 days ago, where it was dark in the morning at 6:30, and all of a sudden it's 6:30, sun's sky high. It takes about 3 weeks for that event to happen, to go from where it's just starting to come light to where it's orange and bright orange. So yeah, I've got a funny feeling I've had a couple of other jumps. And guess what, folks? I have actually been out and I've bought some Bibles. Yes, I know they're new. I can't find my old ones. But the old King James Version was always wineskins. It was always wineskins. There was a version of the, because here's the strange thing. Okay, I collect Bibles, all right? I'm a bit of a religious nut, always have been. I love God. But I'm a rough nut as well. And it's one of the things that my pastor always talks about. And everybody's whinging about my swearing. And look, I go out and I still mix with my friends. Just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I don't have to sit in home and not talk to my friends. I still talk to all my friends that I've had my whole life. And they live in a different world to Christians. You go, they swear, they smoke, they drink, they do everything. Okay, I still drink. I don't smoke anymore. I did eventually quit. But I still talk about God. And my pastor loves the way my old pastor loved the way that I used to go out and talk about, because he reckons I'm one of the few people that can sit there and actually talk about God. I actually took him with me one day and showed him what I do and how I get people to actually think about God at least. And I don't push it down their throats. I'll throw in the odd comment like, yeah, well, God doesn't let me do that, but he'll let me do this. And it throws them, it sort of, and it does, it makes them think about it. And he just come out and laughed, and we talked about it. Okay, now he said to me, because I said to him, one of the problems I got, Pastor, is I always swear too much. He said, Tony, look, don't worry about it. He said, most people swear, but you, if you went to China, you would talk Chinese. If you went to Japan, you'd talk Japanese. If you went to Russia, you'd talk Russia. And if you went to, yeah, I think he put it to Russia. I think Russia might have been the first one because it came to Chinese and the E's was still at the end. And then he said, well, you go to the pub, you talk to your mates, and you don't hide the fact that you're a Christian. But you talk pubese because you're in the pub all the time. That's the language of the pub. And he said, God loves you for that because he said, as far as God's concerned, I'm a field worker because I go out and talk to me mates. And yeah, I don't hide the fact that I swear, and I never have. And I used to run a strip show, by the way, and I was a rock solid Christian. Just because I didn't actually run the strip show per se, I promoted it and ran the club and everything like that. In my reality, I ran the it's a bit different here. I've noticed a few subtle changes in the articles and everything like that. Some are the same, some are different. And I still did it here in this reality. But the thing is, um, yeah, I still saw. They made a big. I wound up centerfold of Picture magazine because of it. But sort of, but the thing is, it sort of it never stopped me because I was still working God. It sort of I never stopped working God. People always knew I was a Christian. A few nightclub people didn't like the fact that I was a Christian working in a nightclub. It was strange. They're the atheists, and they were the ones that didn't like a Christian working in their club. But yeah, so I'm sorry, folks, if you don't like the fact that I swear occasionally. And I've been freaked out the last week, and yeah, okay, the swearing has been a little bit too much. So yeah, but anyway, just turn around and yeah, I apologise and I'll try and curb my swearing. But if it comes out, stop whinging about it for God's sake. It's sort of like he doesn't care. Like you show me a passage in the Bible where it says I can't swear, and then I'll stop swearing. Do you know? To this day, no one has ever shown me. So, okay, I'm going to swear because it just happens, and it just happens all the same. And we've got a few people here and everything like that that are turning around and they're being a bit nasty in here. So I have actually physically blocked them. So I'm just ducking back to that subject. And I'm sorry. If you don't want to get blocked, don't hassle these people. We are trying to cope. Yeah, Kevin. Okay, yeah, that's the one I was looking for. Yeah, I am a born again Christian. Okay, I've always been a Christian, but I became born again. I went from being a Seventh day Adventist to being born again back in 1987. I became a born again. I went from being Seventh day Adventist to being a born again Christian. I have always been a Christian, but just went. I was born again in as a Pentecostal. Started out as a Presbyterian, Seventh day Adventist, back Presbyterian, Seventh day Adventist, back. My mum and dad fought over what church we go to, so yeah, I had a lot of Christian upbringing, and yeah, but I swear I'm sorry, and that's just because I taught pubbees, okay, and I'm an Australian, so I got a strong accent. For those of you that don't like my accent, tough. Okay, I want to talk about the changes that I'm noticing. I'm going to duck into Google Earth. All right, so just let me set it up into the little box as usual. Get that in there. All right, okay, Google Earth. Right, just 2 minutes. People are saying, well, I don't know Las Vegas, okay, and I don't know this, right? Well, in my reality, okay, I do know it because I just studied it because of one simple fact. I was going to see these things. I know I couldn't go here and see it, and yes, that has always been surrounded by mountains. But there was a big desert in this area here, right? That surrounded these mountains. This area here, then it was Nevada desert, all up here, and it was called the Nevada desert for a reason. It was desert, okay? This is your reality, okay? Not mine. And okay, there are some of us from many different worlds. Some of you may have had this, but in my reality, this was further away from Las Vegas. The river was still going through here into Whitney, right? That was still there, okay? But you've got to understand, I'm from a different world. The whole geography of this map has changed and may have been different in other alternate realities. Texas is way too small. But here, see this? The giant caldera here, okay, Yellowstone is a lot different. Yellowstone was a hell of a lot smaller. This caldera just was not friggin' there. This was just desert. The whole lot of your map is different to me. Okay, this is different. This is too big. It's in the wrong spot. This line of the American border is in the wrong spot. It's different. Everything has moved. This is what you've got to understand. Your whole map has changed. Okay, for some of you, and even some of you that have done a jump and said that it's different, but you're saying, okay, well, that's the same. Okay, it may have been the same in another reality. I believe there's multiple people from multiple universes here. Like, you got to remember, I'm one of the few out here making videos. I'm the one getting the messages. My messages are full all the time, all the time. And I've got to constantly go through them. Now, with Mexico, right? Mexico was a lot smaller than that. Mexico came to about here and was a hell of a lot thinner. Came to a pretty, this here really quickly up here. This down here was over here. These were smaller, they were over here. These were smaller over here. And they led down to South America. Now, some of you that can still remember this change are telling me, well, I don't know Las Vegas. The reason why I know Las Vegas is because before I go on a holiday, right, when I went to Hawaii, same as the Hawaiian Islands, I know they've been rearranged, right, because this was up here, right, in my reality. That was up here. There were two extra islands in here. But Maui, Maui was up here. And there was another island in between Maui and thing, because Maui was two islands over. Oahu was pretty much about here. See these islands here, they were taken up by other, they had multiple little islands on them as well. Okay, the reason why I know this is because before I travel anywhere, I study it. I study their road rules, I study everything before I go so that I don't break the law. I study the laws, I do everything like that, and I study the landscape so I don't get lost. Right? I was going to Hoover Dam, and there was, I think it was close to about anywhere from 80 k's to 100 k's to get to Hoover Dam. Okay, in my reality, it was a long drive to get to Hoover Dam from Las Vegas, because in my reality, the travel agent said it would take us a couple of hours to get to Hoover Dam from Las Vegas. Okay, that's why I know the changes here, because to me, I've studied that map. Okay, it was desert out here. It was desert. There was a big open plain desert. It's why it was called the Nevada desert. Okay, yes, there were some mountains around it, but they weren't that close. There was still a bit of desert. In the movies that I watch, it's sort of like, I think it was in Hangover and all that, the desert was clearly shown. Any of the old earthers will remember that they were in the Nevada desert, and they just drove straight out of Las Vegas into the Nevada desert. In my world, it was a joke. You never pissed off the hotel owners in Las Vegas because you'd wind up buried out in the Nevada desert. That was a joke in my world. Right? It's sort of that if you're going to Las Vegas, you don't piss off um, the people. It's sort of because, yeah, you wind up buried out in the Nevada desert. And the Nevada desert, here's a good example of what the desert looked like. See this here? That's not the Nevada desert. Okay, the desert in my reality was much fucking bigger than this. Huge. It was massive, and they called it the Nevada Desert for a reason. It was a massive place, and as I said, this Hoover Dam was about a 2 hour drive, and I can tell you now, that's not a 2 hour drive from Las Vegas. There is no way that is a 2 hour drive. Okay? Hoover Dam, in my reality, was in a different position. Pyramid Lake did not exist. I would have known about it because there's a moment that would have been okay, let's click on it. Right, that would have been a massive tourist attraction, and it is here. Okay, it wasn't in my reality, right? Because I'm into pyramids. I would have wanted to go to Pyramid Lake, and I would have wanted to see the pyramid. Okay, so it wasn't in my reality. Okay, it most probably didn't get discovered because of the simple fact the water didn't wear it away in my reality, hence it never came to be in my reality. Okay, but Hoover Dam was not there. Hoover Dam was somewhere else. I'm still see because the whole topography of this world is different to the topography of mine. You've got to get it through your heads. We are from multiple realities. Okay? You have to understand. Like here, how do I know that the topography around an area, you can remember one thing. I'm coming across so many people that this is foreign to, right? Here, go to this for instance, right? In this reality, look at this. In this reality, that harbour points to the beach. In what world would that happen unless that was natural topography? Okay, so this is natural topography. That is different in my world. In my world, the harbour comes out here. This is turned around, and you can only just see this at the side of the thing because I've been talking to a couple of people who remember 9 Mile Beach my way, and they said, no, Tony, you looked out at here. If you went down here and you were standing here, you would see that spot there and that spot there would still, this was still pointing straight out to sea, but this was over and it was about, you'd see this in about this position over here apparently. So that surfing video may not even be from my reality, it may be from a similar reality where it did point out to sea, but again, another topographical change. Okay, there are some residual stuff hanging over from the other world, and it's being found. I've found some of it. We're not in the same galaxy anymore, and we aren't in Kansas anymore, Toto. Now, okay, in this world, they would not need to dredge that as much because of the way that goes. Hence, there's no dredging equipment up here anymore. It was permanently in our harbour. It used to live up. It sometimes lived on this side of Kooragang, sometimes it lived up here. But most of the time it lived up here. I think it got moved. It would have been with all that here. See this here, right? That there wasn't there. There used to be a big, massive wind turbine down here. That pad there. Now this is something else. I went over to my auntie's funeral recently. Right? Now, looking at that, you can see it's been moved. Here in this reality, okay? Now, this is for the old earthers as well, because some of you old earthers are coming from a different reality to me, okay? That used to be there, okay? That was still there 6 weeks ago because I had lunch in this on the way home. Because my lunch was, I bought my lunch at Fern Bay and it was going cold, so I pulled in here, had my lunch in there, and I was checking out the fan because I thought it looked pretty cool. I always thought the fan looked pretty cool because it was a wind generation. It was an attempt at wind generation. But now, in this reality, see here, this wasn't even here in my reality. But in my reality, this was still being planned. It was only planned. This one had just been built in my reality. We did not have this many coal. I've only just, because someone else said that to me as well. We've never had, and this is going back to 2014. This is going back 2012. See, in my reality, Okay, there's a fan. This is what it still looked like in my reality. It was pretty much there, except for that. There was a big gypsum pit. Gypsum was a something that was used in the fertilisers at the place where I worked. That was always a gypsum field. These were still big empty fields in my reality. They were still big empty fields. There was Sims Metal. Sims Metal's not there anymore. It's gone. And Metal, I know for a fact, Sims Metal was there at my Auntie Susan's funeral because I saw them stripping a car out the front. And now it's a bloody service station there. That's something else that's changed. Now that happened because I noticed that one about 5 weeks ago was the service station change. I noticed that about 5 weeks ago, but and I think it could have been 6 weeks ago. It was still there, but yeah, this was always here, and there's the car park. The car park's about the right size now. In my reality, it was still might have been a bit bigger, might have been a little bit bigger. Let's see if they made it bigger. So you used to sit here and people just watched. Yeah, it would have been like that in my reality, but all this wasn't there. Fuck me, this is way different. You can see they're planning it. It sort of that's pretty much where, in my reality, that's pretty much where the coal loaders were. This was being planned. That was only still in the plans because I remember the plans. But that was never there. In my reality, that was never there. That was still big vacant paddocks. And it was a swampland. It was protected. It was actually in my reality, in this reality, the swans they get that little swamp there in this reality and down here. That's all they've given the swans in this reality. This was legally a swan reserve. And it was. It was a reserve for swans. Anybody that lives in Newcastle, from my reality, that was the reserve, and the swamps were for the swans because it was still swampland. See, that was all swampland. Oh, and this one they've started working at. That was a swamp. That was a swamp. And yeah, it was beyond a joke. I've noticed things here as well. I noticed the wrecks, and the wrecks are still there. There's one wreck here. There used to be multiple wrecks here. This used to be there used to be oyster field. That was an oyster crash here. It was all the way along, and it doesn't matter what year you go to. I can't find the oysters. No Stockton well because I've spent a good part of my life here. And yeah, they had the rifle range up at the army base. Where's the army base? They shut the rifle range down because the kids from the Stockton Hospital used to stick their heads over the fence and go, hey, smile. Yeah, the rifle range ain't even there. It used to be there. Your rifle range used to come out and point up here. But yeah, folks, it's sort of way, way different. It's not the reality that I know. I'm very sorry. Um, but it's just not the reality I know. And even this is different because in my reality, I was reporting these people all the time for a certain smell. I haven't smelt that smell for quite some weeks, actually. Um, they were illegally polluting. They've been busted recently in my world. But here, the ocean, it went out to the ocean. I'm sorry, that went to the ocean all the time. The ships did not need a tugboat until they got to about here. But officially the tugboats always met them here, but not here. But see, this was out here. This was out here. It went straight out to sea. It went out to sea. It never ever pointed in that fucking direction. And so this is what I mean. Right, you're telling me I don't know Las Vegas. Well, try and tell me I don't know this harbour, because I tell you now, I know this harbour. I've travelled out there in my boat for too many years of my life. I've worked on the Rebecca that used to be parked in what used to be a massive trawler place. This was never ever here. This was much bigger. Went out there and went out there, went out there, went out there, went out here. There were hundreds of, sometimes it could be 100 trawlers here. This was a major fishing spot, and this is why this was called the Boat Rowers Hotel. I don't know if it's called the Boat Rowers Hotel. This is still the same, but this is bigger. This is where my nana spent the last part of her life. Um, it's a nursing home. At least they still had that. She still passed in the same way. Thank God. I noticed something else too. I was there the other day. This is in. I learnt to swim here, and I swam here because when I was in school, I did all my school carnivals and everything like that. The orientation of that pool. Sorry, wrong. Orientation of that pool used to come up here like that. There used to be trees around here. This car park was pretty much up there, but there was a secondary car park, and there was a road come up here as well. There was a secondary road. There's so much stuff here that's not from my reality. It's beyond a joke. And the shape of it here is wrong. There's not enough land mass here. It's sorry, but it's wrong. And I know these aren't the same as well because I know I used to live down in William Street. Where's William Street? Okay, where the fuck is William Street? Four, four. Okay. Really, really weird. Some of this stuff, folks. It's sort of streets are. There's so many street changes in here, laneways and changes that are just not right. Every block in Stockton, and this is only recent. Now, this is something strange as well. Every single block in Stockton had a laneway. Every single block in Stockton had a laneway. Okay, they got okay. Sorry, they are the laneways. They're a bit bigger. In this one, they look like streets. They're pretty thin. They're very thin in my reality. You could just barely get a car up. It was no thinner than a car width. Not this thick. And as I said, I did a job down in Dunbar Street recently where I removed the beehives from an old beehives. Is that it? Is it Dunbar? That might be it actually. Is it Dunbar Street? No, Douglas Street. It might be it actually. That might be the place. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it wasn't there the other day when I was looking for it. Yeah, that is. It was like a jungle out the back. We had to chop fucking our way to get all the fucking bees out of it. It was a nightmare. And so yeah, it sort of okay. That's back because it wasn't there the other day. I looked for that the other day, and it wasn't there. But the fact that William Street's vanished, I can't find William Street, Rossbury Street. William Street should be there somewhere, and it's not there. This is what I mean. There's so many changes here, folks. It's sort of like my home street when I lived in Stockton's gone. It's just vanished. It's not in there, and it's sort of it should be. William Street should be here, down here somewhere, and it's not. Frontier Street. That's William Street. There's Bay Street. Yeah, that's Bay Street. I used to live. Okay. Yeah, it's wrong. We never had a Frontier Street. And I know this place well. As I said, I lived here. I went to Stockton Public School. Where's Stockton Public? Okay, I went to that school as a child. There's just North Street. Oh, there it is. William Street. It's in the wrong fucking spot. That's in the wrong fucking spot. Because it came. Clyde Street was on this end of William Street. It was up here. I know the boat rowers was used to come in into our street. And boat rowers pretty much around the corner. Yeah, fucking weird. The house doesn't even look the same. Yard doesn't even look the same. I can't see it anywhere. Second house from the corner we were. And that's definitely not my fucking reality, folks. We were the second house from the corner, and I can't see my fucking house. They got lanes, but we were up here. The boat rollers, yeah, and then it's William Street in my reality was down here somewhere, in that area. It's fucking weird as all shit, folks. So, but this is what I mean. Like people say, I look at stuff. Okay, I read maps. If I go somewhere, I look at a map. I study the topography. I've got a GPS here. I actually first thing I did because I bought it in Hawaii and it's still got the Hawaii maps on it. First thing I did was check that out, and it's changed. It's sort of that's not the Hawaiian maps. The routes that we took in Hawaii, the places that we went to in Hawaii, are all got different locations. They're still all marked on the GPS. It's fucking weird. But it's got to do. The reason why it's weird is because this is not my reality, okay, guys? You've got to understand, like for God's sake, my children didn't get born in this reality. The land is different, and I mean the landscape is different in every country. So why can't there be some changes in Las Vegas? Okay, but my Las Vegas, I do know it because I studied the maps before I went. I always do. I studied maps. And I've even got it on my GPS. Well, it's actually still on the GPS, but the roads are all different. I looked at and planned the route to Hoover Dam on it. And I knew that it was 80 something Ks. It's not 80 Ks anymore. So, and this is what I mean. It took 2 hours, and it doesn't take 2 hours to get to Hoover Dam anymore. The topography around here is different. The whole topography of our harbour is different. As I said the other day in my other video, this is too thin here. That used to be wider over here. You could throw a fucking stone across here now. Mate, this used to be one of the best fishing spots because the fish used to come in and they congregate in here. The flathead used to love that. The jewfish used to come up here. But now, it don't point out to sea anymore, folks. We ain't in Kansas anymore, Toto, and I mean it. We are not in. I'm not in Newcastle anymore. I'm not on my earth. And I went for some drives today, and it's really friggin' weird, folks. It's just not my earth. The whole thing. Look out! I went up to Newcastle, look out, and had a look at different things, and went up to Fort Scratchley. Fort Scratchley has changed. Okay, still a fort. Where is it? Oh, where is it? There. Still a fort, but the layout in here is different. Okay, this is all different. I shot a movie in here. I know the layout of here. It's different. It is way different. Okay, the gun's here pointing to the side. Right? In my reality, the gun's pointed that way. And that's why they had this here, the same reason. You go to Nobby's. That was a gun. That was a gun turret, right? Like mainly men with guns, but that was a gun turret. Okay, protecting the harbour. But it pointed out to sea. It had different things. There were gun turrets all the way along here. Is that it? Yeah, I can't tell because the topography's changed. I can't bloody tell half this shit anymore. Uh, yeah, botanical gardens. This is similar, but again, the layout. We used to have races around here, so I know that area. It's sort of I shot part of the movie up here as well because there was a bunker. Okay, it's still there in this reality. But when you come up to Merriweather, where the hell is Merriweather? Holy hell. Okay. There's a whole suburb missing. There's a whole suburb missing, folks. The hill, Cooks Hill. Okay, there's MBN. Come around here. There's a whole suburb missing. That's what's different. That's what's different. Because of the change to the reality, they've never built that suburb because there was a suburb in there. When that used to move around here, there was room for an extra suburb. And that extra suburb led in that extra suburb. See here, they've got this street pointing that way. And there was a house, in my reality, there was a house down here. Yeah, so it's not even there in this reality. In this, it would have been about here because you came around here. And even the road, there's a road missing as well. There's a couple of roads missing. And it came around here because what it did, it led, and see, this is in a different spot as well. It led to the bunkers there. Yeah, see, this is way too wrong. Yeah, this is way too wrong because it came out to another underground bunker that was up here. Where's the nudist beach? Okay, so the nudie beach is there. Well, in my reality, it was a nudie beach. Yeah, you went down there, and that was the nudist beach. Um, yeah, and it came out here, I think, because there was that gap there. And it came out. There was an underground tunnel that came out here on this side of this bunker, and there was an underground, and there was a. It was pretty much it was an observation point for the military, and it came out here, and you can't even see it anymore. It's gone. It's not there. Okay, that's something else, and it's definitely not anywhere there. Doesn't. It's not. So that's something else that's gone. It's a missing thing. It was a thing because you had to actually know because it was discovered. A guy was doing some renovations in his garage, and they found the entrance to it, and it went right through the mountain. And the thing is, it was up here. But see, because everything's different, this should not be there. This should actually be, yeah, this should be down here. This, if one suburb's missing, okay, that's there, that's there, that's there, that's the same. It's just this curve is different. All this curving is different because, yeah, that was there, but Susan Gilmore, is it still Susan Gilmore Beach? That Bar Beach. Okay, that's not Bar Beach, that's Bar Beach. And Bar Beach was never straight. See, that's another thing as well. That was another curved beach. There was a big curve there. And these are all the changes. So yeah, there's changes here in my own suburb. Oh, okay, the scout camp. Oh, they still have the scout camp. Is that Glenrock Lagoon? Yeah, okay. Oh, that's where I went. We used to camp as scouts. We learned all our tricks as scouts down in that area. That's at least Glenrock Lagoon still there, and they've still got Boy Scouts. But yeah, just so many changes around here, folks. It's just not my world. I'm sorry. This is not my reality because I used to stand there and look at sea. Now you stand there and you look at a beach. And so, yeah, I'm sorry if you think that I've got Las Vegas run. I do know because I've got it on a GPS. I've got it on the thing. I had maps of where the thing, and yes, those maps are different in this world too. Okay, so every map conforms to this new reality. And in my reality, South Africa was never this populated. Never. It was like, this is a joke to the amount of stuff that's, even the scanning, and that means it's populated. I'm actually looking at it. Zimbabwe and Botswana and all them and Democratic Republic of Congo. This was all pure jungle. The whole lot was pure jungle. This was all still pretty much jungle territory. And it's not anymore. It's sort of, Africa seems to be bigger than it was. I know it's bigger. China is smaller. The Great Wall is not there, and it looks like they've got a version of the Peterson map, but it's not the Peterson map. It's different. The Milky Way, there it is. The Milky Way surrounds the whole Earth, and in my reality, the Milky Way, you'd spin this, you did this, you'd only see the Milky Way for a couple of seconds. Okay, because we were on the opposite side of that. So, look, okay, yes, I know, I swear. Yes, I'm sorry, I swear. It's just because of the mates I hang around with. And some of them I'm not going to talk to because it's sort of, they think I was nuts. It's sort of, because they are these rough, they're as rough and nut as me. And the thing is, sort of, I spoke to one today, and he said he was coming around, didn't come around. I think I spun him out. But the thing is that he did remember similar stuff to me. He remembered my children. And he said, "What are you talking about? Children don't exist anymore." I said, "They just don't exist, Robert." And he sort of, he's got back into God as well, which is good. For him, it's good that he's back into God. And the thing is, it's sort of the world has changed. It's not the same. You may be from one reality, I'm from another. Okay, that's all there is to it. Okay, there are going to be changes for some of you that do still come from an alternate reality. It's a multiverse, remember that. Einstein said it was a multiverse. What's his name said it was a multiverse. All of them said, yeah, there's possibilities that we can go across it. Well, unfortunately, CERN has made it happen. We have skipped across the universes, and I'm sorry I've jumped away from all the questions. I apologise to that. But yeah, it's sort of, yeah, it's there. So go through the things, have a read. Please answer each other. Please be nice to each other. If you are an old earther and you're rude to somebody, and you telling them they're crazy because their version is different to your version, I will block you. I don't care if you unsubscribe. If you harass the people on this channel, I will block you. I'm sorry. We need help and we need to talk to each other. So talk to each other. Don't ridicule each other because your version. Embrace it. Embrace the differences, for God's sake. Turn around and look at everything. Everything is different. We know this. We come, even our position in the Milky Way is different. So everything is different. So please, please don't tell me I'm nuts because my version of Los Angeles is not different. And yes, I studied it. Okay, I'm that sort of person. I've been studying for 23 years at college. I study everything. If I'm going somewhere, I study the area. I study the road rules, especially the road rules. And I can notice talking about road rules. I've noticed changes to signs and everything like that, to where they're different. They were dark in one area and light in another, and now they're the opposite. And just weird shit's happening all over. And I'm still noticing these changes. I'm getting out more now that I'm getting back on my feet because I spent 3 weeks, 4 weeks of these changes locked in my home because I had gastro. I thought it was a contagious gastro, but apparently it's not. Been tested, it's been okay, and yeah, so you've got to be nice to each other. It's yeah, yeah. Tower of Babel, I remember. No, Babel. It's spelt differently. Yeah, that's spelt differently than I know. Yeah, so I think, hey, yeah, oh, okay, Adam, okay, yes, this is happening to me too. And I try and ring them back, and the number's been disconnected. I don't know whether it's my kids. One of them looks like it's my kids' number, old numbers. It looks like it, but it's not. It is a different number, but they call and the calls just die as if they can't talk to me. Their call is coming through, but they can't talk to me. And this is happening a lot to me, Adam, and it's been happening for about 5 weeks, maybe a bit longer. Um, so yeah, I'm sorry, Adam. I'm getting it too, and it's happening a lot. Yeah, okay. Man-made lake, mind you. Sorry, those access to their lives, missing who? Yep. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, thanks for that, Ron. Yeah. My kids were great. Yeah, they were absolutely great kids. I didn't want to meet for some unknown reason. I could never get them together. It was one of the hardest things I tried to do, and I really regret that it never happened now because I just hope it happens. After this, I'm going to concentrate. If I get home, I'm going to concentrate on one goal and one goal only. And I'm going to guess what? I'm going to lie to every single one of them. I'm going to say, oh, you got to come here for this event. You got to come here for that event. And I'm going to say, because they're going to ask me, oh, the other's going to be there, and I don't want to go through the hassle, all this. And I'm going to say, no, nah, I'm going to lie to every single one of them. I am, and I'm going to make them meet each other. So, because after this event, I'm going to force them to meet each other, whether they like it or not. It's sort of they're a bit weird because see, they're all like, "No, you're my dad." No, thing on thing. I had one daughter said, oh, "I'm not going to share you," and Josh, he was great. in my world, in this world, he's actually still the same kid. He still wants to meet his sisters and his brother. Simon, well, Simon did want to meet them, but unfortunately, Simon living in Finland, he didn't have the money. I didn't have the money at the time to bring him over. But I'm gonna, when I get home, if I get home, I'm going to see that I get my son from Finland over here as well. So yeah, it's sort of what the, sorry guys, I just noticed this. Okay, you exist in my family. I'm the child who does not exist to them. In this world, I do not exist, and yet I am here. Wow. Okay. Sorry, Ron. I, Ron. Yeah, I didn't really read that. I'm sorry for you, mate. It's sort of in my reality, mate. It's sort of I got a funny. They're going to get over, and if this dude came from gets to my kids, then he's going to be the same thing to them. They don't exist, and it's going to pretty much be the same thing. So yeah, sorry, dude. I really feel sorry for you. So it actually happened to a lady. She had this young kid walk in with a key, and she turned around and said to him, because I have actually physically spoken to this woman, and he walked into a key and she said, "Who are you?" And she said, "Mum, what's going on?" And sort of like they both spun out, and sort of it's okay now. They've spoken with me and everything like that, and they've told me the story. They've worked it out, and they've understand that it's from the thing, get out ID and everything. And she's gone through and found the birth, deaths, and marriage records, and yeah, she's a bit too spun out. She didn't comment on the channel. She sent me a private message, and but I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to even go that to that extent. But she's out there, and so Ron, yeah, you're not the only one. Okay, um, but I feel sorry for you, dude. I really do. I know what my kids would be going through if they were in your position because I know what I'm going through at the moment. So it's life, mate. It's happened. Mate, well, you're in a family now, Ron. How about that? You're in the Mandela's. Join the Mandela Society, Ron, because I know the website's not up, but it's there. It's there now. It's up and running, but it's just under construction. I've got to fix. So, but as far as I'm concerned, Ron, you're part of our family now, mate. You're from a different reality, um, and you got a big family. You got a bigger family you had before because all of us are in the same boat, Ron. Um, so yeah, mate. Good luck. And you got any problems or anything, and want a bit of advice? Yeah, just give us a message, mate, and I'll have a chat. All right, bye. And okay, so to Bill, let's check out working. Your work explaining the maps changing is awesome. Thanks, Bill. I appreciate that. But it's more to the thing. Okay, he came out of Canada after he got become president. Again, Bill, different reality again. So okay, early changes. I can't even imagine what it feels like. Okay, yeah, it has broken my heart. Yeah, it has, Aaron. It really has. And sort of, I've had a tear on my sister of this reality, but we still remember different things. So she's not actually from my reality because some of the stuff is different, but she's still my sister. And I look at it, and please look at your family as still being your own. Okay, just because they may be from this reality. You've got to remember, in this reality, they've all you got. Okay, and besides us, they're still your family. Embrace them. Okay, you might find things in your family and different things about your family in this reality. So embrace your family, no matter what. Because I can tell you now, if I ever get home, I'm never going to let those kids go. I'm going to make sure they all move into the same city as me. That's how much it is. I'm going to work out a way, and if I have to lie to them to do it, I'll do it, and then I'll sit down and tell them why I want them all to come down. I might even just tell them the truth. Might think I'm nuts, but I don't care. Might actually bring them together. But the thing is, it's sort of you've got to turn around, and you're going to have to embrace everybody, guys, because we aren't in Kansas anymore, and we've got to take what family we got. And like in what's that bloody movie, Wizard of Oz. She got whisked away into another land, the land of Oz, and yet she embraced the Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man. Became her family in that world. So we're pretty much in the same boat. We've got to do the same thing. Imagine yourself as her. Embrace the ones around you, the ones that love you, because they're still going to love you in this world, hopefully. If they're ex-wives and things like that, yeah, okay, that might happen too. So I'm sorry if you were married and now ex. It's something that could happen. Embrace the change. Embrace it. Learn to live with it because we could be stuck here. Okay, we don't know. We really don't know what's going on. Um, Okay, and I just go. Now, someone was talking about that, about land mass. Australia hasn't moved. Okay. Yeah, again, RC45, it is, you're from one reality, we are from another, okay? You've got to understand that we have come from multiple realities. The whole globe has moved. Okay, you've got to understand that. Okay, you've got to open your mind a little bit more. Okay, RC45. There's not just two mergers. There's multiple mergers. Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go, Chariot. Yeah, someone's saying, yeah, see, you're not. I'm not the only one that said you're gorgeous. Okay, so yeah, you're still gorgeous, darling. Yeah, that was a question she asked that I answered in one of the other videos. So yeah, yeah, you are hot, Chariot. Trust me, you are. Okay, so yeah, here it is. Okay, here we go. Davey, this was the question I was answering in earlier. Okay, so your Nevada desert is different to my Nevada desert. You need to understand. Aaron, it is different. In my reality, it is different. Las Vegas haven't changed. Okay. You might be an old earther, okay, but your old Earth is different to mine. If it's changed in this world, there's most probably change. Your world is different to my world. You've got to understand this, Davey and Aaron. The differences are there, and to some of us it's one way, to some of it's another. Some of the changes that you saw in your Earth are still here. Okay, there are multiple Earths. In that universal pictures that I found where we were in the galaxy, I found three or four different versions of it. Three or four different arms of the galaxy. So yeah, it's possible. You've got to come on. You're open-minded enough to believe we've shifted. So you've got to be open-minded enough to believe that there's been multiple city changes. Okay, and yes, my universe is just different from yours, David. You're an old earther, but you're from your old Earth, not from my old Earth. That's all you've got to understand. Okay, Erin, it may be the exact same as your reality, but it's not the exact same from mine. Okay, the changes are subtle, but they're different. My reality is different, and trust me, I studied it. I study everything before I go on a holiday, don't you? I thought everybody looked at the topography, knew what was going to be around them, so they wouldn't get lost and things like that. And I knew the tourist attractions that I wanted to see. I know what Area 51 look like. I'm still trying to find those images to see if they managed to sneak through. And I have actually noticed there are some images from old Earth. So look for these images. See if you can find them, like that surfing video, which I found is not from my Earth, but from someone else's, because it's actually in a different. The positioning is a little bit different. Still pointing out to sea, but the topography around it's a bit different. So yeah, you've still got to look at all the different stuff. So we're from multiple verses, Davey and Aaron. You've got to understand that your Earth, your old Earth, may still look similar to this Earth, but you've got to understand to us, because we're from a slightly different thing, we're still called old Earthers. I'm calling the flat Earthers old Earthers because we've come from our old Earth into a new Earth. The new Earthers are the ones that have lived here all the time and never been shifted. Everything's exactly 100% normal to them. And they're a new earther. To us, they're new earthers because we've come to their Earth. Okay, but we're from different Earths. It's too hard to say. Okay, well, I'm from old Earther one, old Earther two, old. Just call yourself an old Earther and be accept the fact that we're from multiple verses. Okay, You've got to accept that, Aaron, because it's happened and we've all come from multiple verses. Okay, Andy. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Night owl, that's most probably why. Yeah. Da, da, da. No, it's not in the correct proximity to Papua New Guinea. It's far too close. CDMR. CDMR. Ha 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 ha. Good one. I like that name. Zoe, it is in a different spot. It's too close. It's far too close. We're not as close to Antarctica as normally. I'd be freezing me nuts off this time of year, but I'm not. It's too hot. The nights are still cold, but days are hot. It's sort of where I'm dressed for the cold, and then all of a sudden the sun comes up. So yeah, it is different. So you've got to remember, guys, we are from multiple verses. So there are going to be some similarities in this Earth as to your Earth, but there are going to be major differences for others. Okay, so please understand that and just be nice to each other, because if you don't be nice, and if anybody speaks Russian, can someone help me? I've got to translate these. I go through and translate them afterwards and read them, and if I can, I'm going to post them. But I've got a lot of those Russian ones coming through. Okay, RC45. Last warning: if I keep on seeing this shit coming in, look, just be nice, okay? It's sort of I'm on the verge of blocking you. I've already deleted a few of your comments. Um, we're not ignorant. So that's what happens to your comment first. You're on the last warning as far as I'm concerned, RC, and I will block you. So watch this video and learn, okay? Because you're on the verge of being blocked. Be nice, make your comments civil, otherwise, and you call anybody nuts, I'm going to block you. I'm serious. Yeah. Now, there's changes in our bodies. There's changes in our rib cage. Now, in the next video, folks, I got a surprise for you. I've managed to. Oh, actually, hell, where is that? I managed to scan a thing, and I'm going to have to go and find it. So that's now on the urgency list. Um, because I've managed to scan a picture that I drew, because I'm an artist and I've drew that rib cage. And I'm going to get back to these questions because I've actually got to go to the little boys' room and I'm going to say goodbye. So, yeah, guys, I'll get back to the questions and everything, and I'm just going to approve everything else. So, look, and RC45, look, honestly, you are on your last warning. I've deleted quite a few nasty comments from you, and I'm going to tell you through a video, cut it out. If you don't accept the fact that we're from multiple universes, I'm going to block you from this channel. This is for sensible people talking amongst themselves so that we can try and cope with what has happened to us, because we have been shifted from our reality. Okay, and to you it might be a joke, but to us this is quite serious. And you don't like it, if you even call one more person nuts, I'm going to delete you from being able to make a comment on this channel. And I'm sorry, folks, and I'm doing this for you guys, okay? I am blocking people because I've noticed there's a few trolls coming in here and there and calling everybody nuts because you've made a comment, oh, this is not my world and all this, and oh, what are you smoking and all this crap, just fuckwits. So I'm sorry, I swore, I apologise for that. I'm going to apologise when I swear from now. Yeah, they're just, yeah, no other word for it, but they've got to turn around and they've got to realise that if they keep on doing it, I've put a disclaimer in the annotations on every video now, so yeah, you make bad comments to the people from the old Earth, even new earthers. If you rip off a new earther, I'll turn around and I don't care if you're an old earther, if you turn around and rip off a new earther, you're all going to, if you're going to come into this channel, you're going to learn that I'm going to moderate it, and I do moderate it, and I think you've just watched that happen. So trust me, and this guy RC45, he's been doing this a fair bit. Some of the comments were a bit nastier in the past, and I have removed them. So, and I do this regularly, folks, and I'm pretty much on the hour every hour. I'm going through, I check, and while I'm at home, when I'm not at home, I get home and I find a couple of hundred. So, yeah, I do it for your protection so that you don't have to put up with the trolls. So you're free to think a bad comment might appear for an hour, but trust me, I monitor. Everything is approved. Nothing goes through here without approval. As you can see, if it don't get a tick, it don't appear in the channel. So make your comments nice, civil to everybody. Otherwise, I will delete the comments. And after a while, like just there, because I'm doing these extra little videos, I'll tell you personally that I'm going to delete you, and I have deleted a few already. So, and block them. So yeah, there you go, folks. Have a good day. I've got to go to the little boys' rooms. I love yous all. I'll see yous later. Bye.